Welcome everyone. Whoops, I'm starting so early. Welcome everyone to ThursdAI on October 2nd. And we're here live, the human us still. And I think it's a very important distinction to make after this last week. So I'm very happy to join my friends here, Wolfram, Ryan, and LDJ. We'll see if other folks will also join as well, because pinch me, what a week it was. Pinch me, what a crazy week it was. Even on Monday, there was like so many news, and then OpenAI just absolutely changed the AI game again, probably changed the world again. And we have to tell you all about this because we're very excited. I will say, those of you who know what I'm talking about, I'm also talking about Sora2, the new TikTok of AI generated imagery. And for those of you who came here for an invite, this is something we will be doing on the show. So if you would like an invite to Sora2 and you don't have one yet, we will absolutely, with all the listeners of the show, start an invite chain and get you in there, because you have to experience the future. And if you're listening to ThursdAI, you are an enjoyer of said future. And so we would love you to join us. With that said, welcome everyone. Today's October 2nd. My name is Alex Volkov. I'm an AI evangelist with Weights and Biases. I'm wearing my signature yellow jacket, which you'll be very familiar with if you already follow me on the other TikTok. And with me here, we have our trusty friends and co-host, Wolfram Ravenwolf. Welcome, Wolfram. How are you?
Hello, everyone. Yeah, I'm doing great. But Alex, you are not wearing your special glasses, so I know it's you.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean the cameo glasses. That was a brilliant
the
idea.
cameo glasses. Yeah, we're
Brilliant
gonna have to
idea.
talk about what cameo is for folks who have no idea. But yeah, there's a very specific way to tell apart AI Alex and actual Alex. And then Ryan, how do we know that we're humans? Let's start with this. Ryan, why do we know that you're human? How do we know?
We cannot verify this.
There's one way. If your dog barks in the background, that we know.
Yeah, Brinkley will be a part of this. I will say I've never seen so many pictures of you, Alex, wearing muscly shirts. Now that I've seen your cameos.
There's a brief period of time where my instructions were muscly shirts.
It's pretty funny. So, and if you're on X, I want to call you. I see we have a bunch of listeners on X. Good to see you. Throw us an emoji up to say hello. Throw your questions. We will answer them there. So good to see everybody on X as well. Sora is going to be fun to talk about. I've got a couple of funny ones I want to show if we have time.
100%. And we have LDJ as well. LDJ, what's up?
Hey, yeah, it's a crazy week. Got onto Sora, not quite on the first day, but on the second day. And yeah, I think that's the big thing on a lot of people's mind. I guess to talk about something besides that, though, Cloud at 4.5, that will be an interesting thing to talk about.
100%. I will say, we usually on ThursdAI, we start the show, we're just going around with the host and just asking what is the kind of the one big, very important AI update or news or release that happened. It feels like it was Sora for all of us. Sonnet definitely released a new update to Cloud 4.5, and that is a great model. Don't get me wrong. However, OpenAI just completely changed the game. Absolutely changed the game. Thank you so much, President Lin, for reposting us. Folks, if you're listening to the show, I see a bunch of you. Daniel Wilson, Dan Mack, Lincoln just reposted us, Queen, Sylvia, a bunch of folks. Feel free to share this one in particular, because if folks are not on Sora yet, we will hopefully get you on there, and you can get the other two folks in there in our comments, and we'll start I'll provide an invite code. I don't know, Ryan, if you still have one, LDJ, you still have one. And we'll try to get you on there so that you can try to get other folks on there and experience the future. So definitely worth given amount of sharing. And what I would say is, we usually, like I said before, we usually go around and talk about the one thing in AI. But I think for this show, given so much has happened this week, let's just get started with the TLDR. Let's run through a TLDR for those who are not familiar with the show. And if you are new here, welcome. Thank you. We're here every week. Just keep joining us and you'll be in the know of everything that happens in AI. TLDR is a section when we run through super quick about all the topics that we're going to cover so that you will know and stay in the know. And then if you want to stay with us as we discuss them, you are more than welcome. For we are currently streaming live. I think around 500 people are with us right now. We're only getting started, and we're on X and on YouTube and on LinkedIn. Usually when Jan Pelek joins, he joined a little bit later. We're also going to be on Facebook, which is great, on actual Facebook, if you guys remember before.
What? That's
Yeah,
still around?
Yammer streams on Facebook, and there's a few folks on there as well. And if you're tuning in anywhere with us, or you're listening to the show on the podcast recorded afterwards, we will try to get you some invite codes as well. For that, you'll have to subscribe to ThursdAI.news, which is a newsletter and a podcast that is the result of this live show. With this preamble and housekeeping and everything, let's get into it. Let's do the TLDR of ThursdAI for October 2nd. Alrighty, here's it. Here's the TLDR for October 2nd for ThursdAI show. With you, your host, Alex Volkov. I'm an AI evangelist with weights and biases from CoreWeave. I know it's a long thing to say, but this is how I should say it. Weights and biases from CoreWeave. And this week is very important to actually mention the CoreWeave part, and I'll tell you why in a second. We also have my co-hosts here with me, Wolf from Raven, Wolf all the way from Germany. Ryan, I don't know where you are now. Are you in the Bay? Where are you?
I live in Connecticut, which nobody knows where it is, but it's close to New York.
So Ryan's from Connecticut, LDJ still somewhere in the East Coast, undescript location. Nisten and Jan will join us hopefully soon. In the big companies and LLMs, which is the area where we cover anything, OpenAI, Anthropic, etc., the foundational model. Actually, Wolfram, you want to cover this section? I'll cover the next one.
The big company, LLMs and APIs. So OpenAI, do you want me to cover this?
Just run through the
okay.
ones. Yeah.
So because OpenAI released Sora2, the big new update of their video generation model, and now it does audio too. And not just that, they even made a complete social media app with it. Why not? I mean, you have the coding agents, I guess. GPT make a social media app, and bam. Yeah, so this is the biggest news, I think, that is far beyond our circle of AI, that is surely going viral all over the world soon. Right now, it's still only available to the USA and Canada, I think. But I have heard there are ways to get in other places. If you have a Starship like me and you can fly everywhere, fly over the USA and use it. Anyway, Anthropic released Claude 4.5, which is the upgraded new model that has beaten Opus in coding benchmarks and has the same price as Sonnet. It's Sonnet, right? You didn't mention it here, but I think it's only Sonnet, not Opus yet.
Yeah.
So it's Claude 4.5 Sonnet. Yeah, they had some issues with their coding agents in the last weeks, but now by releasing this model, I think they are back in the game. And of course, it has been overshadowed by the Sora release. But I think this is very, very big news. And OpenAI also launched their instant checkout and agentic commerce protocol, which is a way for your agent to be able to buy stuff online, basically. So you can use ChatGPT and not just research what you want to buy, but also buy it directly through the agent. And OpenAI Pulse. I've heard about this, but I'm not very familiar with this. Maybe someone else wants to
I can take this one.
this.
So OpenAI, during our show, actually last week, launched a new offering for pro subscribers called Pulse. Pulse is an agentic personalized feed collector agent. What this means is that when you wake up every morning, Pulse will show you the things that you would like to see, trying to think about what you would ask ChatGPT and preemptively go research this and show you. And it's a personalized feed of news. Unlike Sora, it's not like it's fully AI-generated text. However, this released last week. I covered it on the newsletter, but we haven't talked about this on the show. That's why Wolfram doesn't know about this yet. And it has been amazing. And folks, I think, and I'll zoom in on this for just a second. We'll continue with the TLDR. Listen to me. This may be a hot take. I think the Pulse is a bigger news than Sora. And I will tell you why in a minute, because I've been with it every morning, and I cannot wait for my next Pulse, honestly. So it's great, and I'll tell you exactly what it did, and I think it helped me with the show. It's honestly great. But we'll continue. If you don't have Pulse, you have to subscribe to the Pro tier to get it. And I think once it hits the mainstream, it's going to be as big, if not bigger.
Can I comment on that real fast?
Sure. Really fast. We're in TLDR section yet.
Okay, so Hux was launched as well, which is basically a competitor to this by Ryza, who is one of the creators of Notebook LM. And
and a friend of the pod.
I know.
Shout out Ryza, Martin. Yeah.
Hux is super cool. So it's like fascinating to see those products collide.
Yeah. OpenAI basically came out the week that Hux was announced. And on the newsletter, I mentioned that Hux is a free option available to you without the Pro tier. So you definitely should check out Hux. Yep. Let's move forward. LDJ, would you like to try to cover the TLDR for the open source?
Yeah, so DeepSeek v3.2 experimental version. They have something now called DSA, DeepSeek Sparse Attention, and I believe they cut their API prices along with this by about 50%. And especially for long context, it could make it much cheaper and I believe much faster too than what they previously had going. And a lot of people might be familiar with, this is just summary, right?
Yeah,
just summary. Okay.
Yeah.
So, so that's DeepSeek v3.2 experimental. April 1.5.15b. There's some controversy around this on Reddit. Some benchmarks are saying it's much better than other models. Some people are saying it's not much better when they actually try it, but we'll get into that.
ServiceNow, out of all companies, decided to release like an LLM. We have to talk about this, yeah, and definitely the controversy as well.
Yeah. Then GLM 4.6 advanced agentic flagship model hits 200K context near cloud parity. I saw a little bit of this in passing, but it'll be interesting to get into the details.
Yeah. Z.AI is absolutely killing it with a bunch of like updates. I think there's a few smaller models, but folks, like honestly, this week is not, despite the new DeepSeek and DSA, despite the ServiceNow grand entry to the world of open source LLMs. I don't know. It's something funny to me that ServiceNow is out of the all people releasing Sora LLMs. Despite a few other smaller models that supposedly take the stage, this week we'll absolutely be talking about the big boys because they showed up, and they will keep showing up next week because next week is also Dev Day in OpenAI. So we'll chat about this. Ryan, I would love to chat with you about Sonnet 4.5 at length, and I will cover the next segment, this week's buzz, folks. This show doesn't have sponsors. Yeah,
because you mentioned the big boy. There's also a big boy in AI, LLMs, open even. There's a 1 trillion parameters model, foundational model released by the Inclusion AI team, which is called Ring 1T Preview, which is a thinking model, very big thinking model, has some great scores. I put it in the in our private chat, in the co-host chat.
Awesome. Yeah, let's cover this as well. Thank you. Wow, big boy, 1 trillion. Alrighty, I will move forward and cover the next kind of the TLDR section. This show doesn't have sponsors. It has one sponsor, Weights and Biases from CoreWeave. And this week, all of us were on an offsite, and all of us were approaching, I don't know if I can say how many people we work at the company. I don't know if that's proprietary info. Anyway, a bunch of folks, more than 1,000 people, all joined some discrete location in Atlanta to have an offsite for CoreWeave and Weights and Biases, the first time that we saw each other. And there were a few announcements from CoreWeave that I would like to tell you about because I have missed them. And if I hadn't been there, nobody would told me. I don't know if I would know. CoreWeave is a company that sells GPUs to OpenAI and apparently Meta now, and close with NVIDIA. So I'll definitely update you on some cool new updates from CoreWeave. I don't have to do it, by the way. They didn't tell me, hey, talk about CoreWeave, but like these announcements are so fucking cool. You guys have to understand what a big player CoreWeave is, and I think it's very important for me to bring this to you. Also, in the hopes that some days I will be able to just like give out GPU space at some point. I'm working towards that. Alrighty, in voice and audio, we have Hume, our friends from Hume, Octave 2. We talked about Octave 1 a while ago. This is a next generation text-to-speech model. We'll play a demo. We'll play around with this. We often don't get at the end of the show to audio models, but I really want to. But Sora is kind of an audio model as well. So, this world is definitely moving forward. And then also our friends from Liquid. Liquid AI released LFM2 audio. This is their new foray into the world of audio models. They call it a game-changing end-to-end audio foundation model full conversational AI in just 1.5 billion parameters. Where they don't usually release audio models, so I definitely am interested to listen to hear about this. We have friends in Liquid AI. Maxime Lebon, our friend, recently Sam Beach joined them and announced this, and he's going to do evals over there. So we'll definitely talk with them. In the video category, well, obviously we're going to talk about Sora, which is the big Q thing. There is 2 updates here. I only written down one. There's another one somewhere. I saw a release of a new model from Russian folks. I don't know if it's from Russia or where. Like all the names are Russian. It's called Kandinsky, who's like a famous Russian, artist. Kandinsky 5. It's a text-to-video model. They call it #1 in open source. I don't know if it's #1 in open source, but it's really, really, really good, and it's like small as well. There's like a distilled version, and they compare themselves to Sora, to the previous Sora, and we have another update from Tencent Hunyan. Hunyan is, well, we talked about Hunyan multiple times. Hunyan Image 3.0. It's an open source text-to-image by Tencent. This could be the top open source text-to-image model on the market right now. Tencent is doing great work with Hunyan. HY Video was their like big release where we knew them from. Hunyan Image is an 80, is that right? Are my notes wrong? 80 billion parameters? No way. 80 billion would be huge for all my links don't work for some reason. Okay, I think
I'll double check on it.
Yeah, please double check. The 80 billion sounds too big. No, it's 80 billion. 83 billion. Jesus Christ, I've never seen a diffusion model this big.
Yep.
What? Okay, we're gonna have to talk about this at length, folks. But this is it. This is the TLDR, folks. Anything that I missed? Actually, before I ask my co-host, listeners of the show, any big thing from AI that I missed that you want to tell us about? I love comments on Twitter Spaces and on YouTube, everywhere. Please let me know if there's any big thing that I missed. For example, Elvis B on YouTube said, who will win, Agentic Commerce Protocol or Agent Payments Protocol AP2, which is a protocol from Google that released recently we haven't even covered, and now we have 2 competing protocols that we absolutely should mention. So thank you, Elvis, for this. And we have suggestions from Joseph saying, hey, add a category about hardware that can support local LLMs and the use case for standing one up. I think that's a great suggestion. I wish we had the time to cover everything. Actually, folks talked to me about splitting the show in 2, kind of the generative model and the LLM. I was like, no, we're going to cover everything. But hardware is a little bit outside of our purview, but maybe we can try. And I would love to hear from folks who are tuning into the show what interesting AI news they had for us. But I will say also, again, if you want invites, I think I have one, LDJ has one, Wolfram, if you've already been invited, we'll figure it out. We will be giving out at least 2 or 3 invites to the show, and then hopefully once you get invited, you have 4. You invite some other folks in the comments. So please comment if you want an invite still, comment on YouTube, comment on X Spaces, and we'll try to get all of us in there. Also, I'm trying to be one of the first Sora influencers as well. I think I have like 500 followers already. Please follow me there as well.
Big boy.
I've been working on this nonstop. I haven't slept. I think it's a new. Okay, I think end of TLDR. Yeah, we'll do open source super quick, and then we're gonna talk about Sora, and in the end, we're gonna give out some invites. How does that sound? Open source. Let's do open source. Open source. Open source AI, let's get it started. Alrighty, so despite the fact that this week open source is not the leading generator of all the news, we still here on ThursdAI, we love open source. We covered this from the beginning, and we are friends with most of the open source folks, and we're friends with all of the fine-tuning people. So for the longest time, open source also meant you can download this model and start fine-tuning this. I think that starts to come back with RL, and we probably should mention RL efforts in open source as well. And this week we had a few interesting models that we should at least talk about. And I think the darling on open source, the lab that is absolutely cracked, everybody like is waiting for the releases, is ByteDance. The whale, the famous whale, I think the only lab that I don't know anyone at. So folks, at ByteDance, if you are listening to the show, feel free to reach out to me. Like we cover everything you do, very positively. We don't do gotcha journalism, and I would love to feature more stuff of you, but basically, and have you on here and maybe tell people exactly what you do. So Lian Feng, I think is his name, Lian Feng Weng, something like this. Please join the show. Basically, DeepSeek is rememberable to everybody by DeepSeek R1, the first reasoning open source model that released so well that it took down half of NVIDIA's net worth for like a few weeks or some crazy stuff like this. We obviously talked about DeepSeek for a long time before this. Wolfram will remember them. And LDJ, you mentioned DSA already, sparse attention. DeepSeek famously gave us the RL formula called GRPO when they released DeepSeek R1 as well. And honestly, R1 is a great model, but nobody uses it anymore as far as I know. Like many people just moved to the updated R1, but GRPO, oh my God, that was a hell of a contribution. Everybody uses GRPO. And so looks like they're announcing something else. So would love to chat about the release. DeepSeek released version 3.2 experimental. By the way, if you guys are paying attention, this is the third week in a row that DeepSeek released something small, but something. We had DeepSeek 3.1, 3.1, and then DeepSeek released
Terminus.
Thank you. Blanked out completely. DeepSeek released Terminus, which is an update on terms time, and then now we got a 3.2 experimental, which is a little bit less strong than I think Terminus, but is different. LDJ, how is it different?
Yeah, so it seems to be a little bit better and a little bit worse, actually, in some ways too, compared to DeepSeek v3.1 Terminus. However, the big difference here is it's using something they implemented here called DeepSeek Sparse Attention, or DSA, and it's kind of using some insights from what they previously had, something called NSA, if people remember a paper they released with that name. I believe it was a paper, at least a blog post or some code. And along with something else, multi-latent attention. Multi-head latent attention, I think it is the acronym for MLA. And with that, they ended up with DSA. It looks like just significantly less computational cost with the scaling, as a lot of people might know, you traditionally have quadratic scaling with attention, where basically every doubling in the context uses up 4 times more computation and memory with attention. Whereas here, if you scroll actually in this link that I'm sending you, Alex, in StreamYard chat, and you could just see the difference in those charts there of how the cost per million tokens ends up scaling way less, which is a good thing, compared to the traditional model.
Pulling this up. So LJ, just for folks who are like tuning in and have no idea, is this a training technique? Is this a inference technique? This like, when does this apply?
It's an architecture change.
Okay.
Relatively, it's a changing architecture of a specific part of the model, but architecture change nonetheless. I think most people would still technically call it transformer, though. Yeah. But yeah, here you could see.
So for folks who are just listening, and maybe we can pin this to the space, folks who are just listening, we're seeing a chart from the DeepSeek AI docs that LJ sent over that compares DeepSeek v3.1 Terminus, which is an updated version of v3.1 from a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I think a week ago. And then we're seeing a chart with the x-axis is token position, so like a context length basically. And on the left, we see cost for million tokens. And it's absolutely stunning that DeepSeek v3.2 is nearly flat at cost from 0k tokens to 128k tokens, whereas DeepSeek v3.1 Terminus, the previous one, just goes up and to the right quadratically, like very straight up shut up, which is incredible. And LJ, we've talked about this multiple times on the show, but many new listeners for us are listening and don't know about kind of the attention, the quadratic attention problem. Could you describe this just a little bit? Why context is harder on the models, and the longer context you have, the more expensive it is?
Yeah, so like you could see in this chart, but also like I was describing earlier, a quadratic in this case literally just meaning each time you try to double the context length of the conversation that's happening, and that could be like going from 16K to 32K, for example, then the amount of memory and cost or like computation cost of computing that attention ends up multiplying by 4. And this happens every time, like when you do the next doubling of context length, again, it's like another 4. And then you could see how drastically in this chart, for example, by the time you get to 128K token context length, the cost per million tokens, at least in their estimated chart here, ends up ballooning to like 8 times the original. When you get to, by the time you get to 1 million, if you extrapolate this out and continue it, it gets, potentially even like in the dollars, eventually $10, $50 per million tokens, really insane.
Yeah.
So if you really want these like really long thinking times, if you imagine in the future, if you want the model to think potentially for hours or days or longer on something, or trying to do those types of things, then this is one of those problems that a lot of people have been trying to solve and pin down of how do you actually get more efficient context length costs while maintaining quality. And it seems like they've mostly done it here. And this is maybe the best attempt so far.
This looks absolutely like incredible. I haven't even dug in this deep because I was busy otherwise. But the thing that worth to be said about DeepSeek v3.2 versus v3.1 terminus is that while this keeps happening, while they significantly reduce the numbers, and let's talk about a little bit just the actual numbers, so we'll pin them down. At 128K tokens for decoding, which is kind of the outputting, I'm assuming, they are maintaining the cost around like less than 20 cents, maybe 35 cents. This is the maintenance of the cost. While the previous DeepSeek would have already cost around $2.50. So what, five times cheaper at 128K? But the performance of the model is on par with the previous model. I think that this is the most important thing. When we talk about models in open source, we usually only look at evals and comparisons, but this is also very important to take into account. The same benchmark performance, nearly the same benchmark performance, 85 on MMLU Pro on both of them, and nearly 80 on GPQA Diamond, which is a very difficult Google proof PhD level metric. The models perform the same, while at 128K tokens, DeepSeek v3.2 is nearly 5 times as cheap, and it looks flat. It doesn't go up and to the right. This is insane. LDJ, we talked a lot about like transformer alternatives and different kind of approaches like SSMs. This is not that, but it's effectively a similar area of improvement, right? Like this is like the whole big idea of SSM, that attention doesn't scale up quadratically, so you can basically have longer and longer context. This is still transformer, right?
I believe so. Yeah, I'll check more into the paper again, but there is something that's interesting with Mamba, and I think is a good thing to bring up here, is Mamba and other architectures like it in state space models. They have shown in the past too this drastic better efficiency in context length, while also matching similar benchmark numbers as transformer counterparts. But then when people actually try the models, there's something that kind of feels off about them. It doesn't feel quite right or quite there yet. And so I think we should be a little bit wary of that happening in the past with this. And, because it is possible, maybe when people really start trying the model and getting into DeepSeek v3.2 experimental, maybe they do end up feeling that there's something off. But I think there's just not enough anecdotes and people using it yet to find that out yet.
Yeah.
So Alex, where can people use these models? Like what inference providers, if people are listening and thinking, great, want to try it, where should they go?
I think the best bet, and thanks for the layup, the best bet is usually OpenRouter. I love those guys, and we have an inference service as well for weights and biases. CoreWeave, and most of our models are also on Open Router. So feel free to just go there. DeepSeek directly exposed these in their API with the pricing changes like 50%. So the API prices for the DeepSeek 3.2 experimental were cut by 50%. And it absolutely makes sense because they use the DSA, DeepSeek sparse attention. I love the D. The D in DSA stands for DeepSeek, so that's that's great. Faster, more efficient training and inference. So both training and inference are faster. I will pause here for a sec and say we've been doing this for 2.5 years. The show, I mean. We've been following the AI open source release for 2.5 years. We all have been here when rope was invented, and we all saw the context length jump from Llama by somebody that exchanged a config and just telling the model, hey, you can extrapolate. Like, we've been through these, what I think Leopold Aschenwin or whatever, he calls them unhobblings. These moments where something happens in the world of AI that with a algorithmic change, with a new discovered technology, with something, everybody, all of the models together get twice as fast at something with no additional costs. This doesn't happen in any other technology. We know this from the world of CPUs, for example, Moore's law, that tells that CPUs are either getting cheaper every 18 months by half or getting faster or something. AI doesn't have that trajectory because we have multiple, exponential curves of progress. And then sometimes during this exponential curve of progress, the GPUs are getting better, significantly faster than Moore's law. Algorithms are getting better. We have these unhumbling moments. And GRPO was probably one of them because everybody now uses GRPO, group something attention optimization, for RL. And DSA feels like one of them as well. Like, looking at these graphs, looking at the fact that they just released something that allows them to cut their API prices by 50%. And I think they released it, right? They talk about this. I actually don't know if it's open source, the DSA. LDJ, do we know if it's fully on the tech report enough so people know what this is?
I believe so. So they on the GitHub, there's at least a paper.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll put the link to the paper in the StreamYard chat too, and maybe if you want to post it on Twitter.
Yeah, I'll definitely add this to the show notes. So folks who are listening, yeah, it looks like it's all described here. DeepSeek Terminus and 2 training stages. They described all of it with all of the softmax and different formulas that I have no idea how to even read. I need ChatGPT to even help me parse this. But these unhumbling moments, and this is why open source is so important, because the folks who are releasing open source models, they're often also releasing technical reports, and everybody can just use them everywhere else, and all of the AI goes forward. This is why one of the reasons why we believe open source is very, very much needed. But also, this is one of the reasons what makes me feel that any rate of progress that you can project down the future is going to surprise you. Anything else about DeepSeek?
This is the big stuff. This is the big stuff. A model, a great new model, great. Next week we have a better model, but a fundamental architectural change that improves and allows us to extend the context at even cheaper speeds, faster speeds and cheaper inference time and so on. That is a big thing because all the other models, if they implement this technique, can also work at bigger context and work at the same quality. Because that is always a problem with open source AI. When you run it locally, you are very limited in your context. Even if the model can do 128K or even more, I've never been able to do more than 32K on my smaller machine with 48 gigabyte VRAM. So this would allow faster speeds, longer context at the same quality. That is a big, big, big thing. So I'm looking forward to more models implementing this.
I want to know what Tai Lang is, but we don't have time to get into this. All right, folks.
wants.
Yeah, we will. LDJ, go ahead, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, I think something to note here too is that in the past few weeks, or at least I think it was within the past few weeks, the NVIDIA Nemotron Nano V2 model came out.
Yep.
And I think that still might technically be, or at least very close to being, the top state-of-the-art model in a lot of benchmarks for its size of around 8 billion, 9 billion parameters. And that also has much more efficient context through it. It involves, if I remember right, a combination of basically doing hybrid of Mamba layers and different techniques like that. And it's still largely I would call transformer though. And what's interesting there, I haven't really heard much people talking about whether that, like the vibes are off when people actually try it though, and whether it feels benchmaxed. And so I think within the next few months at least, we should hear information about that along with V3.2 experimental of how people actually feel with it.
I will just say, like, thanks, LDA. But on the point of V3.2 experimental, etc., like we all know that DeepSeek, like 4 is coming, and then DeepSeek R2 is also coming. Like everybody keeps waiting for this. I don't think the folks. There's a whole segment of AI on Twitter that gets excited about like numbers and evals, etc. But like we want to also give you at least some technical information. Like if we have folks who can go deep into DSA next week, like we'll definitely bring them. Like given the extreme technical chops of that team and the DSA releases that cut their API prices by 50%, I think R2 is going to be, again, mind-blowing. I will just say, not financial advice, but if you see NVIDIA dropping after R2 gets released, buy. Just use the opportunity, because the market has no idea what's coming. The market has no idea. The market is not priced in the video generation we're going to talk in a second about, the build outs that are happening in the hundreds of billions of dollars that we talked about last week and this week will continue. The market has no idea what's coming, so they will react on some stupid stuff, and then you can take an opportunity. All right, Ryan, last thing and we'll move on.
So on the inference cost, does OpenRouter mark up the token price at all? Like, how does it work with CoreWeave? Tell everybody real quick. Okay, if you want to use these models and you want to,
we don't have a DeepSeek 3.2 experimental up yet. We're working on this. We have. We need to decide like which models we're going to put up on our inference service. Definitely have the previous DeepSeek. OpenRouter adds, I believe, like a 5% markup on top of theirs, but I think like it's well worth it for folks who are using OpenRouter, because they have like a fallback. So if somebody else's inference service is now up to par, ours is gonna pick that back up. One thing to mention, by the way, about OpenRouter, folks, not all providers on OpenRouter are made the same. We haven't talked about this, but Kimi released a research called Kimi verified something. Let me go find this. Basically, they got tired of people saying, hey, Kimi is not good enough, and they went and tested like 10 providers on OpenRouter, and they saw that not all providers are made equal. Some providers are putting up the Kimi models in quantized versions, and because of this, the Kimi versions perform less than their APIs, and we actually weren't part of that test yet, but I reached out to them, and we're going to be part of the next test in October 6th. So I'm very much looking forward to getting to know whether or not we're serving Kimi as it meant to be served. Just a heads up, OpenRouter will route you to a different provider. You can specify a specific provider, and once I will know 100% that we're the best one, I will definitely tell you. But for now, I believe that going directly to the API of Moonshot is the best served way. So probably the same with DeepSeek. Often the providers will provide quantized versions to cut costs.
I can add to that when the big Quen model came out, I was testing it with different inference providers as well, with the MLU Pro, and that was when I noticed Whites and Biases API did the best. So I was surprised, and this was not sponsored or anything. I just tested them, and yeah, it did the best. So I can confirm there are differences, and yeah, I'm interested to see how yours is with Kimi, but I expect a lot from you guys.
All right.
Also not sponsored. Yesterday on the Arena stream, I was trying it on the 1B API. We tried to get the Cloud Code Proxy working, and 2.1 Proxy worked pretty well actually with the GLM 4.5. That was the only one that worked well. We tried Kimi. Kimi could kind of work, but it couldn't really keep track of the to-do list with a proxy. We tried the Quen models. Like they could kind of go, but some of the tool calls would fail. It was just a 4.5 GLM, and I haven't tried the 4.6 GLM, but it's probably going to work. They have the most Cloud Code compatible tool calling, I think, right now.
Yeah. So, hey, welcome, Nistan. I love how Nistan just plugs into the show and moves us forward to the next topic. GLM 4.6. We've been talking about ZAI, GPU, I think previously. I forgot their name. It doesn't matter. They rebranded to ZAI. And GLM 4.6 is their new release, and folks, this is a flagship model from them, advanced agentic flagship model, 200K context, near cloud parity. I love when we get Cloud Sonnet 4.5. We're going to talk about this in a minute, and which we probably should move the show along. And they already released a model, and they compared themselves to Sonnet 4.5, because then we can give you apple-to-apple comparisons here on the show. So let's take a look at GLM 4.6. GLM has a very interesting way of releasing evals. They're not standard evals. They're taking 8 benchmarks, and they're doing some kind of like equalization between them that we're not sure, and I don't know how to replicate this. So I've talked about this on the show before when 4.5 was released. This, to me, as somebody who reports and wants to compare this model to other models, this is annoying. And the reason why it's annoying is because I don't know how they mix between AI Meet 25, GPQA, Live Code Bench. Usually I get the exact score on every one of those benchmarks separately, and I can compare, okay, Cloud 4.5 is here, they're here. ZAI decide to mix them all together and show that on the specific custom mix of theirs, they are better than Sonnet, for example. And then I gave this rant. I remember I gave this rant when 4.5 was released. And then suddenly on all my feed, everybody said GLM 4.5 is a great model, and you guys should put it on the inference. So now you could use this on WB inference by just going to 1b.me/inference. But it's also like a great model that many people use for coding, like Nissan said, and for proxying in Cloud Code and using it in Cloud Code. It's way cheaper as well. We serve it in like we don't make money on the inference service right now. We're just like, I want you to use this. So it's way cheaper. But 4.6 is a significant step up. You know what? We can compare itself to itself. And this is like a 0.1 release, but a 0.1 release, 98.6 on AIME. It says with tools, which is kind of cheating, but fine. And GPQA also 82 versus 79 with tools. So basically they added with tools everywhere. Lovely. Which is somewhat not a direct comparison, because a student on a math test without a calculator and with a calculator will perform significantly different.
Just ask our kids.
Yes, but the bump! Oh my God, this is Shark Crunch.
It's a great model. I don't know why they're doing this. Like, just look, some of the benchmarks lower.
Look how confusing this is. The black, like the dark blue, is the with tools part. Okay, so the model gets 93% without tools and then 98.6% with tools. 93% on AI Meet 2025 is still larger than DeepSeek and then Claude. So like even without tools, they're getting like a significantly higher. This is just like a horrible chart. Okay, because this is where I noticed this, folks. Humanities last exam, the most ridiculously named hard benchmark in the world, because it's not last and it's getting obfuscated super quick. 4.6 gets 17.2% on Humanities last exam without tools, 30% with tools. This is above DeepSeek's at almost 20. This is above Claude at like 17.3. Yeah. This is a horrible chart, but it's a great model. It's a horrible chart also because they gave both Cloud Sonnet 4 and Cloud Sonnet 4.5 shades of gray that are indistinguishable from each other. So I have no idea which cloud is this and which cloud is that, but it's all right. Sweetbench verified, this model does not reach Cloud 4.5 levels, because Cloud 4.5, we're going to talk about, this is a great coding model, but it gets like 68%, which is very, very impressive as well. Terminal Bench, which everybody gets super excited about. Claude is the absolute leader in Terminal Bench. Terminal Bench is a bunch of agentic tasks in the terminal, and this one gets 40. But hey, this one is open source. Where's my air horn? I want to mention, like, Claude 4.5 is the flagship release model from this week from company Anthropic that focuses the models on coding. Everybody knows the Claude 3.7 was the best one, and then the 4 and now 4.5. This model is open source, and it gets nearly Claude levels on AIME and GPQA and Live Code Bench and the HLE, the Humanities Last Exam, and also Terminal Bench and Tau Bench. They're getting very close. This is a open source model that gets these. This is Nistan. Give me some excitement about GLM 4.6, please. This is a big deal.
Yeah, it was the only one again that I would really consider plug and play for Cloud Code. It's like, yes, you could use Quan and it would it would do stuff, like it would like chug along, but it wouldn't like really keep track of the to-do list, so it wouldn't update the. I think they've really matched the tool calls to Claude. As to how they've done that, you can all speculate, but it works pretty well. Also, I've been following the team and using their models for like 2 years now.
Yeah,
almost. They were the first. Yeah, they were like thought THUDM before. But again, also the model size is pretty handy because it's one of the few that you can you can kind of just run it on 2 GPUs if you have two H200s. So it's one of the few that you can still get a good int 8 quantization, because it's 350 million parameters. So this is one of the very, yeah. So you can kind of get away with running this one at home.
But you don't have to, because we're gonna put it up on an inference, and then you'll be able to use this.
It's gonna be a lot slower on a Mac Studio, but you can do it, and you can do it at pretty high quality.
I think I want to call out.
Sorry,
Nistan. I want to call out some of the updates, and then we'll move on, because like we so much to talk about, and we're still on open source. 200K context length up for 128K. So improvement on context length. 15% fewer tokens per task compared to GLM 4.5. We've seen this trajectory before on open model, on reasoning models on OpenAI everywhere. And GPT 4.5 Codex also famously updated that task, Ryan, you remember. We want the same level of intelligence with less thinking. Like, it's great to have a thinking model, reasoning model, reason for longer, but like at some point you want to be practical, and to be practical you want like less thinking. So the models that they release, you guys should keep in mind that they're improving on benchmarks, but also reducing token length to get to these benchmarks together. So like a lot of updates are happening in parallel, and it's not only, hey, this model is better at benchmarks, and it's also this model is better at benchmarks with less tokens for cheaper, basically, and this makes them like faster as well. And then they call it superior coding benchmarks, outpaces GLM 4.5, and approaches closed models in coding and reasoning. This is like the open source models are catching up, and they're catching up from China.
Just one
last
thing.
Comment.
Sometimes it does output Chinese characters, so you gotta keep that in mind if you're gonna serve that in public. I know Quen's pretty good about that. The Quen models are pretty much like plug and play. You can put a little filter model in front, and I haven't had any issue, but this one is, just keep that in mind.
All right, so what we don't have time to get into, unfortunately, is ServiceNow, an American enterprise company that does services. I don't know, Ryan, what does ServiceNow do? I know they're huge conglomerate enterprise.
They do a lot, but it seems strange to release a model. So interesting to see this.
Yes, it's like out of left field completely. And their new release called April 1.5, 15 billion parameter. It's by ServiceNow Slam Labs. So shout out to Slam Labs. If you're working within ServiceNow, but you're in Slam Labs and you just like cracked ML, please come to our show. We would love to understand how within this huge company you guys are releasing Sora models. I don't know if it's a fine tune though. They did release a paper with it as well, so that's great. The call out here is that April V1.5 15 billion parameter thinker is in this like most attractive quadrant from artificial analysis. Shout out to artificial analysis, by the way. We love them, and they're doing a great job in evaluating these models, like a very, very important service to the community. The April is in intelligence index of around like 50%, but the total parameters are like, it's a small model, and it beats Magistral and it beats GPT OSS on artificial intelligence like thinking index, but it's like less tokens, 15 billion tokens. It's almost as performant as Quen 3 Next. In quality, but like significantly less tokens. So if you want to play around with this, we unfortunately don't have time to get into their innovation, but it's MIT licensed. All checkpoints, training recipes, and protocols are open source. So it's like a fully open source model. That's great. ServiceNow, folks. Welcome, Slam team. We expect big things from you. Right, folks, we're moving on to the main segment of the show, where we're going to talk about big companies and APIs. We're going to start, obviously, with Claude Sonnet 4.5, which Anthropic released this week. And very quickly, everybody said, hey, You remember when we moved into Codex because of GPT? It's time to try Cloud Code again because Anthropic released a new Sonnet 4.5. Would love to hear. I would actually love to just like shut up and have you guys talk about this. Ryan, I want you because you work at AMP and you guys definitely tested us out, I'm sure. What does the world say about Cloud Sonnet 4.5, the new and long-awaited Sonnet release? Meanwhile, I'm going to show some evals on the show.
So we immediately started testing it, and the initial signs were positive, and we switched pretty fast to 4.5, same price, right? So that wasn't going to harm our users. However, we saw some regression, and I would say actually we are not convinced necessarily that it's as stable and as high quality as 4. I've had to many times prompt it to continue. We've seen some strange errors with it. So at first it was great, but yeah, we're potentially thinking about pulling the plug and going back to 4 until Anthropic, figures these rough sort of edges out.
Yeah.
I, honestly, like we're testing a bunch of stuff internally, and I can't talk about it quite yet, but we're getting to a point now where there's some really fast, really high quality models that if the agent harness is built correctly can compete with the big boys. And, it's exciting to see it play out.
100%. I think that like any model from Anthropic usually gets a lot of excitement in the beginning and then folks start testing this. I've seen some examples of Cloud 4.5 Sonnet being better at like front-end development, for example. If we just go by the basic evals that they've released, and the Sonnet 4.5 matches Opus 4.1 on multiple of these like hard benchmark things. Matches and beats Opus 4.1. Opus obviously being the bigger of the three like Claude brothers, at 77.2 for agentic coding at Sweetbench verified. 82 with parallel test time compute, which I'm not quite sure what that means, but they're adding multiple very important hacks on top of the Sweetbench verified. But we're getting to a point where like Sweetbench verified is also already benchmaxed. Terminal Bench, I think, is one of the bigger ones. Terminal Bench is a bunch of agentic coding within the terminal. Famously for Terminal Bench, Warp, the terminal, got like a state-of-the-art update there. Warp is a great terminal. I recommend it. I can send you an affiliate link if you want, but just download this Warp. Moved from just a terminal into agentic terminal. They added a bunch of AI in there, and you can just like talk to your terminal. So if you're still remembering like commands, Warp is a great terminal for you. But the reason I'm mentioning this is because they were great at Terminal Bench, and I think they only got like 40% or something. This is Cloud Sonnet is the absolute leader in Terminal Bench. They beat it at 50%. Shout out to Factory AI, which we didn't talk about on the show, but they're invited, and hopefully Matan and some other folks will join. Factory are building agents called droids, and they just recently got to a Terminal Bench state of the art with Sora, with Sonnet 4, and they even beat Sonnet 4 with Sonnet 4.5 on Terminal Bench. So a great test on agentic coding.
Real quick, while we load up Yam, we've seen that Sonnet 4.5 seems to do concurrent tool calls a lot more than 4, which is kind of fascinating, which is great for parallel edits, but sometimes it would even start trying to edit the same file at the same time with concurrent tool calls. So squirrely, and jury's definitely out.
Yeah, jury's out. I saw also from the folks at Devon, the creators, Cognition Labs, they have said that they had to rebuild some of their prompting around 4.5's like specific abilities, and that's also something that happens with cloud releases a lot, right, Ryan? Like folks releasing like new capabilities, and then suddenly the system prompts are there, and they're kind of like pushing the models into different behaviors. All right, folks. Anybody else with some feedback about 4.5? I would love to hear from our users and listeners. Anybody else try it out or read some stuff and want to summarize the zeitgeist? Nisna, go ahead.
It's more up to date. I would say the knowledge cutoff, they both say January 2025. They all of them, Opus 4.1 and 4. Sonnet. But I noticed that it was familiar with the a much later Linux releases, which Opus 4.1 and 4 were not. So it did actually know stuff up until November or so of last year, which is a big deal. Especially, it's more so in JavaScript and stuff. If you're trying to, for example, if you want to use Tailwind 4, it was pretty good at Tailwind 4. But the other models, you usually just set them to Tailwind 3.0. I did notice it was a lot more susceptible to slop catalysts, as we say. So if you have something in the prompting that's just gonna shoot it off, the slop catalysm can be pretty rough on it. I don't think it's better than even than Opus 4. I still mainly use Opus 4 whenever I need to do stuff. And when you start subagents in Claude Code with Opus, they switch to Sonnet 4.5 anyway. So yeah, this is the way to go. Like parallel tool calls are going to be the way to go. It's just kind of, it feels a bit rough. I did notice the same things that Ryan was noticing. Like I wanted it to be good, but it just often wasn't.
So shout out to both of you for keeping it honest. Really, like I think that our industry needs more kind of like objective looks, and for some reason we're now getting to a point where camps exist and people hate on OpenAI. So like no matter what OpenAI would release, they would just like hate on OpenAI, and the same for Claude. There's like like fanboys of OpenAI, and it's great to have us here, and I really appreciate all of your comments about like how realistically it feels. I will say on the dry technical stuff though, Sonnet has an updated 64K output token limit, which is incredible. It's improved reasoning and math, and also they have the same pricing as Sonnet 4.1. So $3 per million tokens outputs and $15 per million output tokens. If you are price conscious, this level of intelligence may not be necessarily needed for you, because honestly, GLM 4.5 or the DeepSeek 3.2, the output token is like in less than $0.50. Less than $0.50. So like you can just like have them run for longer multiple times. It's just like it don't make sense. Like this pricing exists, but for some people it does make sense. But it's really a pricey model. The thing that I want to pay attention to before we move on though is OS World. Computer use benchmark that uses your machine to try some stuff. The most significant jump in Sonnet 4.5 from Sonnet 4.1 and from Opus is agentic tool use, like Tau Bench or Terminal Bench, but the most significant one is OS World. It gets 61.4% at running your computer, clicking things, doing agentic stuff with a browser, whereas Opus 4.1 got 44%. It's a 16% jump on top of Opus 4.1, which is a huge model, and almost 20% jump on top of like 4.1, the previous Sonnet. None of the other models, I don't see scores from here, so I don't see GPT-5, but this is a big deal that's going to come later, because it looks like Anthropic is working on, computer use agents. LDG, go ahead, last comment, and we'll move on.
Yeah, I agree. OS World is really impressive, but a slight clarification: instead of just browser use, it actually also tests overall operating system use.
Mm-hmm.
So in the benchmark, they have things like manipulating different things, and like text files, opening different things beyond just browsers, and interacting with different windows on a desktop, and really interesting complex tasks.
Yeah, and I believe this is state of the art. I don't think that anybody beats this, right?
I had very good results on that too. I was doing a UI in C++ in Linux, and it could open windows, it could close them, it was taking screenshots. It was doing that part actually quite better than Opus. I did notice that.
All right, folks, with this, we're moving on from Cloud Opus. We're going to say hi to Jan Pelek, who joined us, and we're now 6 people. The full panel is here on ThursdAI because this week is fucking insane. And just before we get to the insane part, I want a word from our sponsor, a small word from a sponsor. welcome to this week's Buzz, a word from our sponsor. I'm Alex Volkov, an AI evangelist with weights and biases from CoreWeave. I should mention this specifically today. I should mention this because I want to keep you up to date on a few great things that happened to our parent company, CoreWeave. We were all on and offsite, and we talked about the future of AI and build-outs, etc. CoreWeave, for those of you who don't know, is a company that provides GPU infrastructure to the biggest companies in the world, famously to OpenAI and also to Meta, and I believe NVIDIA itself, and there's a bunch of other companies that are customers. You can look it up online. Basically, everything that I say here on the podcast is public information. I will not repeat anything that is not, because we're a public company. We IPO'd earlier this year, and that seems to be doing well. The thing that I want to mention here on the show is a few updates that I was told about just on the offsite, and they're freaking huge. They're freaking huge. The thing is, I don't believe that like many people know what and who CoreWeave is. They're kind of like a behind player. They didn't have any direct-to-consumer offerings or any kind of type of stuff. But basically, you have the three big hyperscalers, which is the Google Cloud, AWS, and Microsoft's Azure. Like those are the three big ones, right? And then you have what's called neoclouds. Neoclouds are folks who are building GPU-specific infrastructure, because the hyperscalers have everything. They have CPUs, they have storage, blah, 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 blah. And they have neoclouds that started with GPUs and now scaling their offerings towards everything that AI folks need, right? And so CoreWeave is one such neocloud. You can read the history of Mike Intrater and Brian Venturo and the other co-founders. A very fascinating story, starting from crypto and pivoting into GPUs super quick, right in time, and then doing some incredible stuff with debt, securing debt to buy GPUs and then reselling them. So like very interesting stuff. I'm not gonna get into this. What I will get into is, since the beginning of this year, the amount of deals to build out infrastructure that CoreWeave has done with OpenAI is absolutely insane, and not only OpenAI. So for the past few weeks, here's just a few updates about some numbers to you that I found absolutely mind-boggling, okay? All of those deals, the $500 billion deal NVIDIA did with OpenAI, and then the $100 billion deal, like all of those, and Starlink, and like all those deals we talk about here, CoreWeave is somehow a part of it, because like when OpenAI says, hey, we're going to build out compute, they usually, at least some of it, they go to CoreWeave and say, hey, build the compute for us. So we have like massive infrastructure to build out. And so we have 3 mega commitments in the pipeline that I wanted to talk to. OpenAI's pipeline now totaling $22 billion, which is, it was reported like $14 billion before this, and I think it's extended by like around $6 billion as well. Yeah, $6.5 billion in September, around $4 billion in May. So this is like a total commitment to OpenAI is like $22 billion of compute, which is just insane. Meta, from this week, this is like I think the biggest news. Meta committed $14.2 billion to AI cloud capacity through December 2031. And by then, ASI may be just here. So we don't know. But it's just like $14 billion with Meta. And then also, there's a new deal with NVIDIA, which is very unique. It's called a backstop. $6.3 billion take or pay guarantee. NVIDIA will buy any unsold CoreWeave capacity through April 2032, significantly reducing the risk that the company takes by kind of like getting this GPUs. All of this means that AI is going to go very, very hard to 2030s, very hard. And yeah, don't believe the naysayers about bubbles. What, like, this is, this is commitments to build out. This is like bought out commitments for NVIDIA. I think the biggest winners here, obviously, is NVIDIA, the biggest winner in all these deals. As always, Jensen's not going to lose. But if you guys remember last week, we talked about Jensen and NVIDIA investing up to $100 billion or $500 billion into OpenAI, and we talked about how does this make sense. Circle. I actually had the chance to ask. I don't know if I can repeat whatever, but like I asked the top tier echelon of our company, because we're involved in all this like Circle stuff. How does this make sense? I got a very satisfying answer. I will try to figure out if I can explain this, but basically those are investments, and those investments make even more money. So there's like generally Jensen invests well generally. Ryan, go ahead.
Well, and they pumped $5 billion into Intel, which is interesting to see. Like, okay, we're going to see U.S. chip makers hopefully stay strong.
Yeah, and
as
Intel
an
is
American.
the only kind of Western fab that we have that like actually can like generate chips and don't reduce reliance on TSMC. So all of this is to say, compute is coming, and whatever we're going to talk about next on the show will require a lot of compute as well. And we here do not believe that there's a bubble because like I don't see the popping point. Like I see the need for more and more compute, both on inference side and on infrastructure side, and it looks like that happens there. I will just say this one last thing. I'm wearing a yellow jacket that has weights and biases on it. Weights and biases is part of CoreWeave, and we are in charge of the application layer. So if before you could have heard about CoreWeave from like the news at CNBC, Jim Cramer, whatever. You're like, I don't know what CoreWeave is. I have no idea about this. Since the person of weights and biases, all of you, yes, you, the AI engineer that listens to the show, has access to the same infrastructure that runs OpenAI's infrastructure. We have kind of the best. You can look at ML perf performance, like a bunch of different benchmarks. There's a reason why OpenAI and Meta now and Microsoft before and like NVIDIA all choose CoreWeave. There's a big reason for this, and this is because the stack is the best. And so you now have access to use the stack as well via our WNB inference. We host the open source models. We paused a little bit to see how it shakes out, to figure out some stuff to make sure that the service is better for you. So we don't have like the latest model like 4.5, 4.6 in GLM. We have 4.5. We have Kimi K2. Feel free to use this. The prices are in the floor. You will use the same infrastructure. We're to be trusted. And then once you tell me some feedback, we will put all the new models on there, and then you'd be able to use the same infrastructure OpenAI uses. Imagine you're building a startup and you're going somewhere, and your selling point is like, hey, we're backed by the same infrastructure that OpenAI uses. That on its own is cool. All right, this has been the word of our sponsor, and we are moving on because this world has changed once again this week, and we must talk about this. Let's talk about Sora. Before we talk about Sora, I will say OpenAI released multiple things this week, and I counted 3. I counted Pulse, which we didn't talk about on the show, but we did cover in the newsletter because it came out after the show ended recording and before the newsletter release, so we have this gap sometimes. OpenAI also launched, together with Shopify and Stripe, the instant checkout button and then agentic commerce protocol. We'll get to all of them later. But I think the hugest release everybody was waiting for, and then OpenAI surprised just absolutely everyone with how they decided to go about this, was Sora2. Yeah. Who wants? You guys go first. I talked to a while. What is Sora2? Give us the very basic dry things releases. Ryan, go ahead.
All right. So Sora2 is a iOS app, and it is very simple. You get an account, you go on, you prompt it, and it creates 10-second videos. The fascinating thing is the cameo, right? So it says, okay, take a selfie video and say 3 numbers, which is kind of fascinating. Turn to the right, turn to the left, and then boom, it recreates you very well. The weird thing is, or interesting thing is, it knew I have tattoos, right? But my cameo video was just my shoulders up, so I thought that was kind of interesting. And then you can mark your cameo as public, and then people can remix you. And it is hilarious. Like, and the dark horse here is advertising, right? So I've already used it to create a YouTube short, put that into Google Ads, and it's driving, engagement and clicks to my startup. So it is wild.
It's wild. So on the technical aspect of this, Sora was announced as one of the first incredible video models, text-to-video models that we've seen. And then it took a while for OpenAI to open access. Meanwhile, many other companies jumped in there. And for the past, I don't know how long, maybe a few months, VO3 from Google was kind of the leading video generation model out there that you could use. Sora was nowhere near close to any physical identity, etc. VO3 is probably still at some things better fidelity than Sora at some things, and however, I think Sora is faster. But I think the most incredible thing about this is the amount of data they scraped to get this, and the cameo, like Ryan said, you can generate yourself within this world. And I read a bunch about Sora. I've used it a bunch. I have a bunch of tips for you as well. So, if you're about to use this, if you don't have access, we'll tell you how to get an invite at the end of the show as well. the fact that OpenAI decided to go social media with it and build a whole ass TikTok with comments and likes and remixes and group chats. There's group chats. There's so much that they've built around this technology. They're just saying like, hey, we usually report on a model, right? We report on Hunyon video, for example, and we say, hey, this video model, etc. They built in so much into this model that it's just like absolutely incredible to see that OpenAI is absolutely the leading product lab in the world right now. They released a whole ass TikTok out of nowhere, and it's like, and it's catching on fire. And not only, Ryan, you said iOS app, they did not release Android app yet. So we have, for our Android friends, we have a workaround for you as well. They released a whole web interface that goes along with it, that has all the same things. Besides, I think some, like, there's no like direct messaging, for example, and you cannot train your Cameo on web. But there is a web interface for all of this as well, because yeah, just you can understand from just the scope of this release, in addition to the model, how well OpenAI uses like vibe coding in their own tools, because like it's just like out of nowhere. It took TikTok, I don't know how many years to get to a point where they have a web. Instagram and Reels, it took them a while, and you know, Meta is significantly larger than OpenAI in engineering code. And just like the polish of this release, product-wise, matches the quality of the model of AI. And I think like both need to be said, because OpenAI is really, really good at product. Wolfram?
I wanted to say that I've been saying that a good benchmark for coding models is actually which company makes the best products, because if the coding model works, you can create basically anything.
Yeah.
And if they used their own model, which we have to assume, of course, then that is also a big proof that Codex is excellent and does a lot, because I think they used it. Otherwise, how could they do that in such a time?
So we've talked a lot, but should we show? I think it's time for us to show some stuff. Okay, I will show this muted for now. No, it doesn't make sense to show it muted because folks are listening. But LDJ, pull it up, and then I will try to get to Sora to show you. It's gonna be a little bit hard for me, but
sure, yeah. What I was going to talk about while you're doing that is something they mentioned as well. Is so far, I have a few friends that have been using VO3 quite a bit, and so far none of them have said that they like VO3 more than SORA2. so I think that's an interesting thing there. But OpenAI has also said they have something called SORA2 Pro that is even better, and it seems even higher quality, that pro users will get access to.
Yeah.
And I guess over the next few days or weeks, I think the access is rolling out for that.
So Sora Pro 2 does not, as far as I saw, exist yet, but I think it will, right? So this is, I think, what they're talking about.
It will be an offering by Sam Altman.
Yeah, it will be an offering soon. Dev Day is coming up next Monday, so like maybe during Dev Day they're gonna release some updates, some stuff. While I pull up some stuff, I think it's really important to tell you guys that you have to talk to your parents about what they see online, because if we're gonna scroll through the Sora feed in a second, I want to get there. I just want to like get to a point where you guys can also hear sound, and the folks on the Twitter space also hear sound. Realistically, this is for faces. I think this is one of the top hyper realistic video models that exists right now. It's still distinguishable. I think once you see it, you can see it. Like once you figure out how kind of Sora makes people look a little bit, you can see. But okay, well, almost there.
So while you're doing that, to give you another layup, this is going back to inference. I'm actually signed up for OpenRouter while we talked, and I'm switching my startup over to it. But I'm looking for CoreWeave, but I just see weights and biases. Is that how you're listed as a inference provider?
We're listed weights and biases on
cool.
On
I've added you.
Yes, let's go. All right, let me see if I can now get to Sora. And folks, I guess
while you're still setting that up.
Yes, I'm in. Let's go. Yeah, go ahead.
Something else to mention real quick is they did officially say they will be releasing a SORA2 API, which is also pretty big because they never actually released a SORA1 API, and so a lot of people are questioning if that would ever come out. Oh,
yeah, that's huge. SORA2 API, because VO3 was famously the API and integrated in all the tools like FAL and like all the tools. All right, folks. So for those who are for those who are now watching, and for those of us in the Twitter space, now is the time to click that button and go into the video, because this is going to be a very visual part of the show. If you're listening on the podcast right now, definitely switch to the YouTube feed for the video, because it's worth looking at what we're showing. This is my following feed. I think one of the most genius things that OpenAI did, and folks, you can agree with me, is that the cameos, which is basically your representation of yourself, can only be done via an iPhone. I don't know if they're doing this Android, not definitely the web. And they have a bunch of verification steps. So you need to be verified, you need to prove your age, etc. And you have to record yourself. And they don't allow you to upload images of yourself. You have to be like in front of your camera. This is very important for folks to know who you are. This cameo is then yours, and you can generate videos of you with this cameo, and also you can allow folks to use your cameo. Let me see if I can edit cameo. You can allow folks to use your cameo, and you can say only
36, 82.
This is how
55.
my cameo works. By the way, they have like a
36,
preview.
82.
You say the three numbers, and then you are in charge of the cameo usage. So you can say only I can use the cameo, only my friends or mutuals, and then everyone. What the stroke of genius that they did to kickstart this network, they added Sam Altman's cameo, and they opened it up to everyone. And so Sam Altman overnight became maybe the most video AI deepfake memed person in the world overnight, because for maybe 3 days, all of the feed was Sam Altman. And we can also now generate a video of Sam Altman. I actually tried. Let's take a look.
Hey, listeners of ThursdAI. I hope you enjoy the October 2nd episode by our friend Alex.
We're not seeing
Don't forget to subscribe to the newsletter as well.
Not
Cheers.
seeing.
We're hearing it, but not seeing it.
Hey, listeners of ThursdAI. I hope you enjoy the October 2nd episode by our friend Alex. Don't forget to subscribe to the newsletter as well. Cheers.
That's so awesome.
If I show you this 2 months ago, and let's say a year ago, I went to Dev Day a year ago, and I met Sam Altman. I have a picture with the actual Sam Altman, not the AI version. If I show you this from before, and I tell you, hey, you know what? Actually, I begged Sam Altman for a plug, and he did a plug. I don't know if I would have told you that this is fake. This does not look fake, especially with the white background. He doesn't do backflips and weird energy stuff. The voice sounds like him. Cameo, we should give props to OpenAI. The voice cloning is insane, because I barely spoke to the cameo creation. It sounds a little bit like me, and I have a very specific accent. This sounds like Sam.
It's impressive.
It's fucking mind-blowing. What the mind-blowing part is, you can now take Sam's likeness and do something like this. Let me go find what I did with Sam. I think it's you can take Sam's likeness and deepfake him onto
what train fellow Americans. Ask not what AI can do for you.
Share your screen
Ask
again.
what training data you can provide for AI.
Okay, try again.
Fellow Americans, ask not what AI can do for you. Ask what training data you can provide for AI.
Now, here's the thing with this thing. Sora generates very easily dead people. So if you want to generate somebody besides Sam Altman that you don't have access to their cameo, let's say Gordon Ramsay, for example, which I tried. I tried to ask Sora, hey, generate me as one of the contenders on Iron Chef, and Ramsay holds 2 pieces of bread to my face, and I'm yelling, I'm an idiot sandwich. I really wanted that, I wanted to be part of that scene. I got a content violation, because you cannot fake other people's famous people. But here's the kicker. You can absolutely, for now, until they get sued, generate fucking Pokemon. You can generate Rick and Morty. You can generate Peter Griffin from Family Guy. All of them will be true to source. It's insane. They will be absolutely true to source. I will just remind everybody here that last year at Dev Day, I stood up in front of everybody and asked Sam Altman, hey, why can't a advanced voice mode sing me a happy birthday song? And the reason for them was saying, we didn't build the classifiers to detect IP, and so if it sings Mariah Carey, she's going to sue us, and we don't want to deal with that. That was the official stance of OpenAI a year ago about copyright. And now this motherfucker generates South Park episodes end to end with exact, they don't even pretend to not have been trained on this. I can go on and on. LDJ, go ahead.
I think part of why this might be the case here, this might be a slight reach, but I think it's possible it might be connected to the recent lawsuits and court cases that ended up finalizing in favor of the AI companies, and basically indicating that it is actually fair use and considered to be fair use and transformative even for AI to train on these types of content and then output things like it. And in those court cases, it was usually about book content, but maybe the legal team over at OpenAI felt confident enough in this being able to be extrapolated outside of just text and books that they feel like they'll be safe doing this too.
Yeah, I think the recent regulation got them relaxed, but also I think maybe Sama got like less worried. I don't know. Ryan,
I just opened the app and it's Rick and Morty. Like I literally just opened it.
There's a lot of Rick and Morty. I mean, I want to point out like the very real business benefit here. Like all this is fun, but the truth is you can get a studio grade high production ad in 2 minutes, right? So the one that I made, the divorce lawyer bill one, was hilarious. It was a stuffy cat, you know, wearing a bill. Like,
it's just music, yeah. Oh, it generates sounds and music as well. Like we must mention, like you didn't add this music, you didn't ask for it. It just like created this music out of nowhere.
No, but the thing is, I would have had to get a puppeteer, or a 3G artist. I would have had to build a studio. I would have had to script it. It would have been 3 months of work and probably $100,000, literally, right? And it happened in 2 minutes. And it's I had to do 6 generations to get the one I wanted.
Yeah.
But it's insane. And then it's perfect for YouTube Shorts, which you can use in Google Ads. Like this is a total game changer for business.
So there's a few game changers in here that are built in that I really want to cover. One of them is the actual quality of the model, just the absolute visual quality of the model. If you show, my case is a little different because of the accent and everything, but it's still fairly great. Folks, this is one of the Thurs models that said ThursdAI exactly like ThursdAI is meant to be said, and not Thursday AI on like stuff like this. Like literally, it repeats the same thing. There's the quality of the model, the quality of the personalization of the model, where the voice matches you, the behavior matches you, like all of these things. There's the social media aspect that I think is absolutely huge. Folks, I believe, and I'll say this with like a full frontal face, I believe that this is the new TikTok. I believe that OpenAI has stepped into the social media game and they will bite a huge chunk out of it. And now I want to talk about this and open this up to the floor. And we have like 30 minutes. I don't care. Like I don't have any guests this week. Like this week is like that important. I want to hear from all of you on this kind of topic. And I think our listeners, all 6,500 of folks that we have now with us, we welcome everyone, is because Vibes from Meta was released just last week. It's essentially a very similar thing. Vibes is using whatever video the Meta has to generate a continuous feed of AI slop. And I did not even get a little bit excited of going into Vibes. Just nothing. I did not get a little bit excited of going to Vibes. I don't want to see AI generated slop. But just the fucking fact that it's me and Ryan, and I just follow Ryan right now. Ryan, if you open up your Cameo so I can use this, like we can do it live on the show. It's me and my buddy. And it's me in there, like it's my Cameo. I put up my face. I can generate content of myself doing some stuff, and I'm in charge for this. And it's not like some meta algorithm that wants to like steal my face. I think that's a huge thing. It's me and my buddies, and we're doing a bunch of stuff. In my case, I'm a public person. I've been on this podcast for 2.5 years. My face and no voice is out there. You guys can like deepfake me to oblivion. So I opened up my Cameo. All of you can use this. I'm showing up with this yellow jacket as well. So like I'm definitely gunning for a Sora influencer. So follow me please. But
on that note,
but like everybody else, teenagers, let me just land this point like super quick. Teenagers, they added a bunch of parental controls, by the way. You can like limit your teens from like going and seeing the For You tab, for example, which is a huge problem in other social media because those algorithms are like focused on engagement. They have a whole theory they released. We'll see how that pans out. That like they're focused on creation, not engagement. Their algorithms are focused on showing you people with 5 likes and 7 likes and not huge engagement bait clicky things. They have a concept of moods that I'll get into. Ryan, go ahead, and I'll talk about moods afterwards.
So since you're becoming a Sora influencer,
I'm trying.
It doesn't seem like there's a publicly addressable profile URL yet, or did I miss it?
There is.
Oh,
there absolutely is.
How do you find it?
This is yours. I'm gonna send yours right here. I'm gonna add yours to the bottom banner so folks will follow Ryan as well.
Alex is about to make me into a Sora influencer.
Yeah.
For me,
so-
it just came up randomly. Like the search wasn't working that well, but as I was scrolling, you just showed up anyway. So
they're scaling a bunch, and so I've seen some issues with like searching, but they back up. Like the invite-based acceptance, I think, is a very good user experience for all of us as well, because we joined and we want to keep like generating videos. We want the app not to break, and they're able to like monitor how many people they can onboard safely without like breaking some, not only GPUs. This is an actual app that needs to serve like just like videos. They need to stream videos at scale. That's also like, that's a whole endeavor that is very impressive. LTJ, go ahead. Meanwhile, me and Ryan are gonna go as what are we gonna do? We're gonna dress up as St. Patty's Day parade goblins and just like dance on a pot of gold. How about that? Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe now is a good time to give out those codes. I do have a couple of codes.
Yes, let's absolutely do that. For the live listeners, we would love to get you on the show. And I think the way I wanted to do this, LTJ, is this. Basically, OpenAI gives 4 codes for each invited person. And I would love for us to ask the folks who are getting the code to also come back and give at least 2 codes of the 4 that you get from us to other folks on that thread. So with that being said, I think we absolutely should do this. LJ, if you go into the X thread that I said, like if you want some codes, add here and do that. So let me send you a link directly there and just find a person. And folks who are listening to the show right now, a bunch of you are listening. Here is there a QR code I can add here? I don't know. I'll just add this.
Maybe that's also a good time to mention that it is only officially open to the USA and Canada.
Could you talk about this?
So if you are from somewhere else, you should either go there for a moment or find another way.
What's another way? I think it's legit. Like VPN.
VPNs work. Everyone was saying they just work, and the app is free. By the way, if you have the invite code, you don't even need to have a paid ChatGPT account. It just works.
Yeah.
So they were really going for a social, like they sacrificed the product or how much they could generate from it in order to make a social media play.
I think so.
It's a very interesting play. They also completely smashed the Zuck's play at that, which is interesting. This is a very interesting move on their part.
Wait, what is the Zuck angle? I missed it completely.
Well, because Zuck was also, he tried with threads and tried to make another app for another slot machine app.
Yeah.
But I think they're pushing this one as
the Vibes thing. Yeah, I think the Vibes was released prematurely because they knew that this is coming and they were afraid.
Yeah, I am on Vibes right now actually too. If you want me to share my screen and I could just 5 seconds of scrolling so we could
get
the vibe of Vibes.
Get the vibe of Vibes. Yeah, share, and then I'll also add the QR code for folks to ask for an invite, and then LDJ will choose a random one. I would ask for folks who are going in there, please also boost our stream and retweet, so we'll get something out of it. And then for folks who did this, LDJ will grant an invite. I'll also send somebody an invite, and then if you got an invite, go register, create your cameo, and then you'll get 4 invites. And then please return to that thread, and then send 2 invites back to folks. You'll get 2 followers, and we'll get everybody on the show also on Sora. LDJ, you sharing?
Yep. Do you guys see it?
Yeah.
There we go. Here, let me put it full screen. Okay, so here I'll just. So I mean, the aesthetics and the creativity seems pretty good, but so it's not. If I remember right, they said they're using external models, right? Like Flux Context plus some other model.
Right, that's true. They're using Flux Context and Kling.
The thing that End of the World movies definitely did not prepare me for.
TTS is kind of rough, but to be honest, SORA2 audio is also not the best, but it is natively integrated and everything. Into the model.
We beat to rap what key beat
to. This is actually a little bit higher quality than I was expecting, honestly. but it is just like
you're seeing a curated feed, right? Because like we're seeing like thousands of likes and 500 boosts and whatever.
Yeah, it probably is though. I feel like the Sora feed is more like I send you a funny meme that popped up on my Sora feed in the
let me see.
I'll put it in StreamYard chat again here. But like there's just a lot more dynamics in terms of like physics and character interactions and all of that you could do with Sora that I think just ends up making for much more viral things. Like cats wearing golden chains. Like, yeah, it's kind of cute and yeah, it looks kind of good, but it's something that I feel like it wouldn't really go viral unless it's like being shared between, like Facebook moms, No offense to the Facebook moms out there.
No offense to Facebook moms out there. But they will also absolutely move into Sora as well. All right, so we kicked off, LJ, thank you for the vibes thing. We kicked off the Sora generation. You can see that once you generate something, this is the web, you can see it in your draft folder. So here it's like generating right now. One thing that folks don't know yet on Sora, and I wanted to tell you, is that when you go to your Cameo folder, you can get to drafts featuring your Cameo. So if you open up your Cameo like Ryan just did, you can see folks who generated you without. Oh, by the way,
you can't
here's
just throw
me.
Those numbers and call it proof. My podcast listeners fact check everything.
Your podcast? This isn't about your followers. It's about respect. You came in here acting like you own the place.
I'm not acting. I'm leading. You can't just throw those numbers.
This is a person I don't know. Shout out to LJZLJZ, who cameoed me and Jake Paul with some prompt that I don't know. And basically, the thing I wanted to tell you guys, I have a few tips and tricks for Sora for you to become an influencer. When you create your Cameo, you can prompt inject yourself into other people's generations. So there's a setting in your Cameo that's called Cameo settings, and you say, I want to appear as, but effectively what it does is that like it adds your prompt to the prompt generation by users. And if they don't define the things that you define as well, you can be different things. So for example, I'll give you just a few examples. I won't tell you my whole prompt setup jailbreak, but like I appear bigger than anybody else in every of my generations. Like literally, this is what it says. Alex is always bigger than other people in the photo. I also have like
that's awesome.
I also have always a chain on me that says ThursdAI just to represent, and I also I also plug ThursdAI all the time. So everybody like who uses my generation, I'll probably remove this so you'll be able to actually like work with Alex, and you can prompt away all of this if you know. But basically, here's me with Logan Paul, who I think I'm taller than, but like not by this much. Sorry, Jake Paul, and somebody he also opened up his he's an influencer, obviously. He also opened up his Cameo, and somebody absolutely without my knowledge or acceptance or whatever just generated this video of us talking. And here you can see me with the ThursdAI chain and the same jacket that I'm wearing, by the way. Dude, I don't know how they got this jacket. Can we focus on, let me move you guys to the right. Can we focus on this like bottom right thing? This is how this jacket looks like. I will stand up and show you. I don't know if you guys see. I took a selfie. Ryan, could you explain to me how
it's crazy? I mean,
I took a selfie. Like what you see right here is what they know, and they are showing you this side of the jacket with this black part being.
It's crazy. I mean, I assume it must have been on training data from YouTube. Like,
could be.
Wow.
Anyway, this is wild. This is wild, and this definitely looks like me. While we're talking, we have almost done generating our stuff, but LDJ, you sent. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so going back to the thing, before I jumped into the thing, if you go to your cameos, you go to drafts featuring your Cameo. What this shows you is other people trying to use your Cameo, but deciding not to post it for some reason. But because of it's all safety reasons and everything, they built it really for safety reasons. You can see how other people attempted to generate images with your Cameo. And that, if you get any type of following in there, this is just a hilarious feed to go into. Because again, these are the types of things that people decided not to release, okay? So, here's an example of me and somebody.
We don't see.
うわ、風が気持ちいい。まるで飛んでるみたいだ。You're flying, brother. Just keep those arms out. 映画みたいだね。If you're
Let's try again.
うわ、風が気持ちいい。まるで飛んでるみたいだ。You're flying, brother. Just keep those arms out. 映画みたいだね。
So this dude speaks Japanese, and my camera speaks English, and this is a Titanic. Can I translate this? I don't even know how to translate this. This is a Titanic moment where I hold him from behind with the famous row scene. Folks who are listening to this, we have like a bunch of folks. Please use my cameo. I love this. Like this gives me so much joy that honestly I don't remember on the internet like enjoying as much. Using other cameos, folks. Everybody on here, once you go to the VPN steps, Yam, Wolfram, Nistan, you're in Canada, you should be all right. LDJ, open up your cameos at least to mutual, so I'd be able to generate stuff with us. Because I think it's like really, really fun. LDJ, go ahead.
I would love to see that for Android because I don't have an iPhone.
Web. So you have to go borrow an iPad or an iPhone from a friend to create the cameo. But since after that point, you can use this on the web. And I think it's almost fully featured, besides DMs.
Yeah, so speaking of DMs, that's what I was just about to mention. There is a DMs feature, and I just DM'd you something right now actually on the Sora app.
Yeah.
So I think even on the web browser, I think you could maybe see it.
There's no DMs on the web browser as far as I saw. I couldn't find them. I couldn't find the DMs. Maybe there are, but I couldn't find DMs. Invite friends. Okay, folks. We'll start with number one. Folks who are viewing, I'm going to show you my code right now. So whoever grabs it, please comment. If you're streaming us, I'm going to show you my code right now. Please grab this. It is BB5M4S. If you've grabbed this code, this is my last code to invite. We have a few more codes for you. My last code to invite. If you grab this, please comment and say I did and it worked for me. And then we would love for you to also create your cameo and super quickly send me a code as well. So we'll keep the chain going.
I pasted another 4 in the thread as well.
Nice, Nistan. Thank you.
By the way, and the link that you said for the thread, could I guess Alex or Nistan, if one of you could send the link in the StreamYard chat.
Yeah, streaming, sending the link right now. It's going to be ThursdAI.news/Sora. This is hopefully the link that folks will get. So if you're listening to this and you still need a code, here's what we're going to do. We're going to rely on the goodness of our followers. And if you go to that thread and you see somebody who said, hey, I got it, just ask them and say, hey, I'm from ThursdAI. Can I get one of your 4? And then we'll keep sending them. We'll do a chain and hopefully we'll get everybody on there. OpenAI also releases like codes that are available for like 10,000 people. So I'm pretty sure by the end of like the next 2 weeks, everybody will get on there. But if you go to ThursdAI.news/Sora, there's going to be, Nistan already dropped 4 codes. Some people already grabbed them, I'm assuming. Give Nistan a follow for sure for this, folks, if you're grabbing one. And then please come back to the same thread and come back. Nistan, you dropped 1 code. The problem is somebody has to use this code and then you'll get to generate another one. It's not like 1 code has 4 invites.
Oh, okay. I don't know. All right.
It's all right. It's like refreshes. So like once somebody claims it, you'll have another one. Which I think even the invite mechanism is great. So folks, please comment out in the comments that if you grab the code. But I'm having a request. Alex made the video for Wolfram expressing the Android feeling right now. I did this. I already have a thing. So here's my attempt to generate a video of how Android folks feel when they see the Sora invites. It's this. You see, guys?
Yeah.
It didn't generate me as being very, very sad, but basically I went for that, moody, looking through a glass full of like raindrops and like a rain. You remember, like maybe from Friends. I went for this. Do you guys think that we can take a look at our generation, Ryan? You think it's ready? Let's take a look.
Let's hopefully. Does anybody know the limits on how much you can generate yet?
100 generations per 24 hours, as far as I understand, and I think unlimited generations for Pro tier at some point coming. Folks, we have this beautiful person, A1 aka PACOM, just shared another code with us, 2TX19F. If you're using 2TX19F, go create your camera super quick and come back and please post another code for us. We really appreciate it. We want all of you to get in there, and it's exponential. Everybody who we invite gets 4. Get us 2 of yours and get 2 to your friends and family, and they will keep inviting friends and family. This is how we're gonna get all of you in there. Also follow me on there as well. Altrain is the same. Another one. Thank you so much, folks. Here's a code to share. E1K6RV. If you grabbed E1K6RV, please come back to the chat and give us your code after you create your cameo. Meanwhile, we're gonna show me and Ryan doing some crazy things. Let's see if this is already generated. This is gonna be awesome. All right, ready? I'm gonna give them. Dude, I have my custom instructions. I appear bigger than anybody else I'm generated with. I think it works incredibly. It just works absolutely incredibly. It's literally like prompt injecting yourself into this whole thing.
I'm going to share that on X. If you post it, I'll reshare that.
Alrighty, absolutely. This is great. This is live from the show. By the way, folks who don't have access yet, if you want us to generate anything specific to test it out, we're here for the next 20 minutes. I'm just going to talk about Sora. I think it's that big a deal that we can like dedicate like 1/4 of our show to this because and I think somebody already grabbed the code. Sorry, go ahead.
I just posted a generation in StreamYard chat if you want to put it up on stream.
Yes, let's do that. Let's see. Meanwhile, folks with VPNs and folks with codes, just a reminder, if you grabbed one of the codes on the show, be a mensch and come back and post like these two folks did with JQ and A1A as well. If you grabbed any of those codes, please come back and drop them in the comments so we can show the other people and keep the chain going. I'm here for the next 30 minutes and hopefully we'll give out more codes. I think I'm out, Nistan, but if somebody grabbed your code, maybe you can send another one in the chat and we'll.
Yeah, I'll keep it. I'll paste another one.
Amazing.
Yeah. We get another one of those 10,000s. I think that one got used up from yesterday. That had
10,000 was definitely used up by yesterday. LDJ, you sent me a generation. That's funny to take a look.
Duncan, keep your hands on the wheel. You almost wiped out 3 cars back there. Put it in park now.
I'm sorry, officer.
Don't move. Door's locked.
Unlock it
right now.
One second.
Hey, stop the car. Unit 12 suspect just. Duncan, keep your hands on the wheel. You almost wiped out 3 cars back there. Put it in park now.
I'm sorry, officer.
Don't move. Door's locked.
Unlock it
right now.
The ticket again.
Hey, stop the.
Okay, so this is a realistic Axon body cam footage of SpongeBob, and you have you guys know the American police wear these Axon body cams, and they're very specific with the signature that they have. Boom, dude! I'm gonna just like everybody who shares a new code, I'm gonna like applaud. So we have a new code from MEDZ7Z CH4VME. So anybody grab this, create a cameo, and keep the chain going. We can just keep this going. I love this. Like free Sora invites for
Alex.
all.
Does it always show the full prompt that was used, or is it the comments the user gave?
Yeah, that's a great question. It took me a while to figure out. Before you post your video, if you don't edit before posting, so from going from drafts to post, you can change the title. By default, it will be the full prompt. But many people can change this to something else if they don't want to share the prompts. But I think this leads me to a great revelation about Sora that they're doing this. It's like the Midjourney feed as well. It goes and basically shows you what other people can generate. And okay, let's talk. I think it's time to talk about remixes. Yeah, because me and Ryan are in there dancing. Okay, and then everybody. Let me actually post this. Why didn't I post this? All right. By the way, co-host of StreamYard, if you see me like playing and you can if you can't like see the actual thing, just feel free to switch the template.
Yes.
So me and Ryan are here dancing. I'm gonna turn off the music because like the jig is up, but it generated the music on its own. You can hit this remix button and add. Who can it? Let's add Sam Altman because why not?
Let's do it.
Let's have Sama. With us. Add Sama as a third leprechaun. His hat should show the OpenAI logo. Ryan's hat should have Ryan, what do you want on your hat?
The AMP logo, I guess, but it probably doesn't know what that is.
Let's just write AMP.
Yeah.
AMP.
I mean, the remix feature is going to be huge because it's just hilarious.
Do you need to use the ad when you mention the names, or does it now know who Ryan is?
It does now. So you guys can see on the bottom of the UI, I tag mentioned me and Ryan, and for everybody who sees this stream, who sees this video, they can like go and follow Ryan, and which they should. Another code. Let's go.
Woohoo! There you go, people.
5F MM7D from Dew eFresh. Thank you so much, Dew, for the code. Again, 5F MM7D. Folks, just wait with your, you can also accept it on the web, by the way, if you're right now somewhere else and not in, not in the United States, where you are via VPN, but your phone is not on VPN. Like, open Sora.com on the web and accept this invite, and then you won't be able to share with us, but hopefully you will be able to. By the way, you don't have to create a cameo. You absolutely do not have to create a cameo. You can just go and enjoy us. But I think, Ryan, isn't it way more fun?
Oh yeah, totally. Do your cameo. It's hilarious. Open it up. I mean, Alex and I are, like most of us here, are pretty public figures, and it made me nervous at first, but it's hilarious. So you're gonna love it.
Okay,
and
so
it gives you plausible deniability. So if anyone creates a video of you, you can always say it's just AI generated.
Oh, that's true. It's AI generated. All right, so we're seeing Sam Altman doing. Okay, so I think this is Sam Altman. This is 1.6 thousand likes. Gabriel's one of the folks who works on Sora. By the way, I think the actual influencers will be the folks from OpenAI, because the algorithm is tuned such that the first folks are getting way more exposure. I'm getting a bunch of exposure. I think one of my videos like 1.2 thousand likes at this point, just because it was one of the few first ones. But it's definitely worth getting into the social media game early, because if it's as big as new TikTok, you guys want to be there early. But basically, here's Sam Altman shouting developers. This is Gabriel, one of the folks on the Sora team. By the way, if you follow Gabriel, I'm not showing you screen again, am I? If you follow Gabriel on X, he posts codes that fit 10,000 people. So definitely worth following and turning on your notifications for him. Meanwhile, I will remind folks, we have a few codes in here, and we're going to get more codes soon. So folks who just registered and used some of the codes that we gave out, please drop them back in the channel, at least one of yours. So we'll keep the chain going. But here's Sam Altman. And I think there we go. Here is X1001 with a new code, 95VE50. 95VE50. We're gonna keep this going for a while, folks. So like, if you want to get in on Sora, I think the other thing we should ask you besides posting your codes is to follow all of us, because we're gonna be on there as well as here. But here's Sam Altman shouting developers, and then you can see here a bunch of remixes of that, which basically a person saying, "Hey, I want to extend the prompt with this video." So I think an important thing to mention about Sora. Sora content is only Sora content. I don't know about vibes, LDJ, maybe you can confirm, but definitely TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube, etc. You upload imagery that you created elsewhere. Sora, by definition, the whole feed is full of only Sora videos. And the only way you can place a video in there is if it was created by Sora and went through their safety mechanisms and checks, and if you extended it. You can upload images, but those images cannot contain people. So like, you cannot upload an image of your ma and say, "Hey, me and mom going for a walk," for example. She has to be on Sora with a cameo for you to be able to do this. You can absolutely upload an image of this can, or the Weights and Biases logo, for example, and have you self-represent the product. Ryan can upload the image of AMP logo. I can upload Weights and Biases, etc. So you can upload images for reference, but then the model doesn't use them as first frame like most video models do. The model understands what's in there and then like incorporates this into your world. So for example, I uploaded images of screenshots of iOS and said, "Hey, Alex is using Sora," and it like completely rebuilt it. And sometimes it works with like logos and stuff. But I think it's a very important.
Pictures of people?
No. they will scan this and they will tell you uploading pictures of people is not supported and you cannot upload videos at all. And so I think it's a very important point for the next point, because I think the only way to keep the vibes going in this app, and we should absolutely talk about the vibes part of this, is that you extend and remix other people. You cameo other people in your videos, but also you extend and remix videos, other people's videos. So here's an example. This one, again, was posted by Gabriel from OpenAI, and he cameoed Sema, and he is Sam Altman. Sam Altman is yelling developers. And here's a few of the remixes. Let's take a look.
You're not showing right now.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's see. Somebody said, there's two of him, and they're both yelling. Somebody remixed that one and said they're all start dancing. Do you guys see how like crazy this goes? And now they're wearing a toga. And Sora remixed like an audio in there. And people switched it to a different letter. And then people took it a little bit to the NSFW. And now
this is so good.
Somebody make it heavy metal band performing.
They have a music generator that they don't want to give us.
Yes.
They put it here.
Yes.
But look at the realism of his hair. Like, figured out, like he's sweating really down.
Ryan, you like? Oh, sorry, this is like going away from me. You like the realism of his hair? Let's go and find out how you will look doing exactly this. Let me go find this. So here's the thing, folks. You can go into here. Let me use this. You can hit remix on this version of the remix, and then say add Ryan instead of Sema with the same hair. By the way, if you guys noticed, I think yeah, he's doing like a metal thing. All right, and we're gonna add Ryan, and Ryan doesn't need to give me permission for this because he opened up his
watch out
cameo. All right, folks. Those of you who got invites, if you have used them, again, this is the invite that we said 95VE50 and then 5FMM7D. I would love for you to keep the chain going here and send us a few more invites for folks who are listening, because folks are getting really excited and getting in, and we're all gonna do like a invite chain. Go ahead, LJ.
Yeah, while we're waiting for that, I put another example of the remix feature in the StreamYard chat.
Yeah,
it's like the body cam style, but a bunch of people are remixing it.
I pulled you over? Wait, you're Ronald McDonald? And that's Colonel Sanders? Sir, step out of the vehicle for me. All right, hands off the wheel, buddy. Hey, don't! Hey, stop the car! Dispatch driver just fled. It's Ronald McDonald with Colonel Sanders. What? Evening.
So this is a remix of the original one, and there's a bunch of remixes here. Can I just say a few things that I noticed about the model itself? The model has humor. The model has trained on so much that even though it's a video generation, the model has humor. You can ask it, like a VO3 also had a little bit of humor. You guys remember, we famously showed like a stand-up comic saying a joke looks super quick. I feel like this model is way more humoristic than VO3. VO3 feels like you know, barely understanding. This model has vibes. Go ahead.
Yes, and it edits really well. So I did a video with Dan Shipper, who's runs Every. And I basically said, you know, it's me playing Super Smash Bros. And I'm winning and I do a jig. And the way it cut it was even funny. Like, it's awesome.
So here's some prompt techniques for you from somebody with a few likes. Prompt techniques. You have to be very, very specific. I'm hearing some feedback from somebody. Is it me? Oh, it's Nishan. You have to be very specific in what you want. The model is really, really, really good at prompt adherence, but you have to specify every little thing. You have to specify the camera transition. It's going to be very enthusiastic in trying to get you what you want. And so you have to be very, very specific into specifying the prompt. You have to specify the people. You can tag them, and you can tag them again at different places. You can say this person and this person dancing, and then you can tag again saying Ryan, for example, does a backflip, and you can keep tagging them in the UI. So like the model will know exactly who to use. As I said before, and definitely do not skip this. Custom Cameo settings. If you look at all my generations, you'll see a very specific chain that says ThursdAI. Not only that, you'll see that I'm plugging ThursdAI in every generation of everybody else. So if they don't specifically mention, hey, Alex needs to say this and that, and there's a quietness, my camera will go like, oh, and subscribe to ThursdAI. It's really, like, it became like a meme, and it's really funny, and I got like a lot of people trying to generate me and don't post their generations just because it does that. But Cameo settings, you define how you want to look in the multiverse of AI madness or whatever. Another thing, as I showed you before, you can see who generated you in your Cameos tab, but also you can see the drafts that they didn't post. And I think those are hilarious. Ryan, if you're going to go in your draft and see like how many people tag you and share with us, this is just absolutely hilarious.
Like people
by the way, it's brilliant how much thought they put into this. They just didn't just throw out a video model. Yes. That is amazing.
Yeah. Here's Ryan, I, and Sam. And this does not look like Sam, does not look like me. And okay. Often the generations is not regrettable, and then also often what I have is, for example, somebody who I want to speak, somebody else speaks with their voice. That is something they're working on for sure. But Ryan, you probably saw this as well. You guys can just like regenerate. So when you go into draft on iOS, you can basically say edit, and once you edit this, you'll start a new draft with the same prompt, like with a different prompt, for example, and you just try again. Here is, for example, something I tried to do using the Remix feature to extend. I wanted to do a podcast with legends. So here's my podcast with legends.
We're settling it right now. Who's got the cooler fans?
Man, my people ride for me like family. They quote bars back at me before I even finish them. That's love you can't fake.
I feel you, but my fans show up with sparkles in their eyes.
Appreciate you jumping on.
So this is me interviewing Tupac and Michael Jackson. Remember that I told you that you cannot add famous people without their cameo? If they're dead, OpenAI said, fuck it.
You can.
So everybody adds like dead presidents, for example. There's a very famous one going on with Kennedy saying, ask not what you can do for you, but ask what AI can do for you, for example. And there's a bunch. That one is remixed to oblivion. There's so many people who wanted to see Kennedy say something else. And that's the one where I added Sam Altman here. Folks, keep the codes coming, by the way. If you have any code, and please post it in comments so other folks can get in. I'm pretty sure that we have still a bunch of folks who want in on a code. Somebody please confirm that this code is already expired. We have like 5 more minutes. I think we're going to go and give out more codes. Nistan, I saw you're sending some codes to some folks. Amazing. Yeah. So meanwhile, Nistan has been in the actual X thread giving out folks code. So folks who are listening to us from the X thread, please do the same for folks in the thread as well. Let's try to get everybody on there, and let's try to have all of us as a community on there as well.
Yeah, you got to post them one at a time. That's the only annoying part. When you post them, they don't all post.
You have to post the code. Somebody has to claim it, and then you have to get another code as well. So I think somebody claimed my code. Oh, yeah. Somebody claim my code. That's it. I have 0 invites remaining. Somebody asked, where do we do with the code? Where do we go? You open the Sora app on iOS or on the web, and then you accept, and then enter the code, and then you have 4 of yours, and then you share it back with us.
Make sure it's the one from OpenAI and not some fake one. So you can find the developer of ChatGPT, and you can click on OpenAI, and you can see they have another app.
Yeah. Ryan, this is you. Supposedly. Yeah, it was. I want to add. I'm posting. I want to add myself on the drums instead of the bald guy. Let's see if that's gonna work.
I feel like it's being generous with my muscles, which I'll take. You know?
Yeah, dude, I'm the tank top thing. It was in my custom instructions for a little bit to like Alex works like like wife beaters is called the thing, the tank top, and and I'm like I need to change my thing. All right, so I'm gonna remix this, and you guys can see, and I'll train on the drums.
While you do that, funny remix is just say with cigars. It's hilarious. Like so, just trust me on that.
That works pretty well, actually. Yeah.
With cigars. Okay. The inventivity of this model is just absolutely mind blowing.
Can you imagine what's happening to their GPUs right now? Like I can't even imagine.
There's a reason why there's 22.5 billion committed to CoreWeave in the next 5 years or 3 years or whatever. It's because their GPUs are absolutely burning, and they're letting in people, and they're doing this for free. This is free, folks. You don't have to pay for this. I think they're gonna probably add it to the paid tiers soon, because the Pro will have unlimited generation of Sora Pro, etc. But for now, it's absolutely free. And so take advantage. And please, if you grab a code from any of us, and I think X1 said that this code is still being useful, 95VE50. Please come back and give us another code for the folks in there. LJ, do you still have any codes left?
So I think it's one code for all of your invites, right? Or
No.
one.
They regenerate a code, I think.
It's one that can be used 4 times.
It's one that used to be 4 times?
Yep.
Yeah, so I already posted the one, and it's still showing up here, but it still says on my app that 3 invites are remaining. So I guess there hasn't been anyone that's used it yet.
Okay, so let's post a few more codes here. I'm posting one from our friend Peter Gostev, who I invited, and it's this one, 2TX19F. Shout out Peter, he's doing great stuff. Meanwhile, we can scroll, and
gentlemen and fans, I'm afraid I've got to go to a meeting, but this has been hilariously fun. So
yes,
thank you.
We need to close this down. I just want to keep more folks getting into Sora. So we're gonna do a little bit more codes. But I will just say, Ryan, thank you so much for joining, folks. Give Ryan a follow on Sora and X and everywhere, and we'll see you next week on. Ryan, maybe we'll tell people. We'll try to do a live stream from Dev Day on next Monday.
Let's do it. That'd be fun.
OpenAI. So
see you there.
Tune into that. See
Take
you,
care.
Ryan.
Bye.
Take care.
Alrighty, folks. We had more stuff to talk about. I will just run through them super quick, but I think we covered pretty much everything. AI launched Octave 2, and also in voice and audio, LFM2 audio launched. It's a foundation model for sub 100 millisecond latency end to end. Let's have another code up here. Thank you so much, Dan. 95. Oh, he used one of the codes. Okay, so not thanks yet. But we're gonna do, try this one. Try see if this one works for you. Thanks, Ray Fernando, for reposting the stream. Anybody who joins here and wants a little bit to keep this party going, I think I can go for 5 more minutes. It looks like folks are getting in. Definitely remember to follow Altman in there, and then use ThursdAI. I want to talk about Pulse super quick before we drop off. Meanwhile, we're gonna keep the codes going. I want to talk about Pulse. I wish I could show you Pulse. The problem is I'm restreaming this on X as well, and if I disconnect from X, then it's gonna be a problem. But I said this before, and I think folks on X, it's time for you to switch to the video stream. There's only 16 people. Last week, OpenAI launched another product. This product is completely different. It's not social at all, and it's agentic. It's called Pulse. What it does is ChatGPT gives you a customized feed based on your interest, based on all of the chats that you had with it before, and you can ask the feed to give you something else the next day. And that personalized feed is the first embodiment of asynchronous AI agents that work for you that I've used. Okay? And we have another code coming in. Thank you so much, Dan. 3 folks or 4 folks jump in on JSMSSA. And for folks who are just tuning in on the podcast, I will definitely make sure that I will allow you to also get some codes. OpenAI released Pulse, and with this, I will say bye to the folks in the Twitter stream because I need to share my phone and it'll disconnect. But Pulse is embedded, is only for pro users, so don't expect it to blow up as much as a Sora did. because it's only for pro users. But again, I will say, this is the first example of an asynchronous agentic agent, agentic AI that runs behind the scenes and delivers for me. And I, this week, wanted to show you, let me reshare. I wanted to show you this Kandinsky model, which is not on X. I tried to find this on X, and you guys know that most of my sources and everybody's on X. Kandinsky is not on X. It's a fifth version of this like vision model. They claim to be the open source #1 text to video. This is them compared to the previous Sora quality. Okay, Kandinsky is green. Following a prompt is tied with Sora, and for visual quality, they claim, I don't know where they took these numbers, they claim that 62% prefer Kandinsky on top of Sora, and for dynamics, 54%. This is them against 2.1 WAN from Alibaba 14B. Visual quality, 70% prefer Kandinsky. This model was not even in my like newsfeed. I had to find it. On H100, you can generate 5-second clips. Is as little as 35 seconds. So it's like the still version is like very super quick as well. They have a 2 billion parameter version. It's best in class in Russian comprehension because it came from like Russian folks, and I think those are very interesting as well. But I did not know about this model, and then this morning, I'm gonna go into my phone and try to show you my phone. This morning, disconnect. What's going on? Yeah, sure. This morning, I have received a Pulse update from OpenAI, and it said, "Hey, there's a new model. We know you're interested. We know that ThursdAI is on Thursdays. We're gonna give you. We're gonna show you this Pulse." So let me pull up Pulse real quick because I think it's very important. You go into Pulse right here on ChatGPT, and then you can see October 2nd. Let's start with the big new model drop since you likely use this right away. I asked it and I said, hey, I don't need like 2 weeks ago things. I need news that just dropped. And so I have an updates here about Sora. Let's run through it and see. It has screenshots in here. OpenAI just dropped a bold new move in AI media, and they mentioned like The Verge, etc. They can pull up demo videos. So that's great. This is my personalized feed, yeah? And then DeepSeek adds sparse attention. We talked about sparse attention with you guys as well. Basically, what I'm saying is you could use Pulse if you have it and not come to ThursdAI. No, I'm kidding. You still come to ThursdAI. We're still here for you. Grok computes cost, and then Kandinsky was also here, I think, from the one yesterday. I will just, again, say, this is like the first time that I learned about like a new thing from an agentic AI that works on behalf of me. I was very impressed. Here's why I think it's a bigger deal than Sora. Sora is a social media. It will change the landscape, etc. Personalized agentic proactive agents will be with us for all of us going forward. It's very clear to all of us here because we've been trying all the agents. They're not proactive yet. Like the coding agents, I don't know how many of them proactive just decide to wake up and fix your PRs. They're not proactive yet. You still have to like trigger them. You still have to ask for them. This is the first time that I experienced a proactive agent that nobody has to trigger. It's triggered every day. Like it's like a cron-based agent, but it's tuned to exactly kind of the type of stuff that I want. And it's connected to my Gmail and my calendar, and it knows what's coming up tomorrow. It knew about my flight to Atlanta, and it gave me some tips. And I just I think that this is Sora is fun and really exciting, and you can tag your friends. This is life-changing in the way that AI is going to be helpful to you, which is basically what we're all after. And so this is what I wanted to show you. Pulse is absolutely showed me. Halloween is coming up, and I've told it, hey, I'm very interested in doing Halloween this year with my kids to have it really fun. And so now I have ideas about Halloween. I have to remember to keep asking it. It's working really well. You can thumbs up, thumbs down some stuff. Obviously, they're testing and training on me, but it's working really well. Anybody else has Pulse and tried it, or just me?
I haven't tried it, but it sounds exciting because I think that is the next big step when the AI proactively does something for you and gets back to you. And if it learns all these things about you, and we all have these big profiles already, so it can even proactively tell us something we haven't even thought about. So yeah, that is That is probably a big unlock.
I think the productivity is the big unlock. Alrighty, folks. So I think we've used all the codes that we've given out. Some folks didn't come back with their codes, but that's all right. But somebody shouts, this is the best free pyramid scheme ever. And I agree. And I want all of the followers of ours to use, if you haven't used this code, JSMSSA, please try and keep the chain going in the Twitter thread. So this is ThursdAI.news/Sora. Hopefully, for folks who are listening on the podcast, we'll also be able to claim some of those codes. I'm still showing the feed. Here's one of my favorite videos. Oh, am I now a drummer? Let's look at me as a drummer, and then we'll see. Hopefully, you guys are seeing this. Not hearing this, right?
Fire in your face, let it roar, let it rise. We won't bow.
This is me with long hair and a cigar, because we asked Ed Altman to the drums with cigar. It doesn't look quite like me, but maybe if I grew out the long hair and put a cigar and was a rock drummer, this would be great. Somebody posted, thanks for the code. It's too bad it doesn't know what Alex looks like. That's incorrect. If you tag me at Altman, you can use my cameo. So you can generate stuff with me. So here's how to do this. You just go to Sora. Somebody just posted that like they don't know how to use me. And in the describe your video, if you follow me, you'll see my thing here. Just tag at Altman, or just I think you can say Altman. And then as a ghost, for example. And then it does know what I look like because you can use my cameo. That's it. What do we think, folks? I think this is one of the craziest weeks. I think next week is also going to be absolutely crazy. OpenAI Dev Day is coming up on Monday. Trust that Google is going to try to upstage whatever they have, because we hear rumors of Gemini 3 going around, and I hear rumors of folks. We don't do rumors usually, but like Gemini folks. Yam, you haven't said a word, but you're going like this. What are you looking forward next week? Let's finish on that.
I don't know. I want more. Models go burr.
Yes.
Pretty much. GPUs go burning and so on. Sora is insane. I'm pretty mind blown already by Sora. And I don't know. I want to say that I want a new Claude, but we got a new Claude.
We got a new Claude.
So Gemini 3. We got GPT-5. We got Claude 4.5, and now we only wait for Gemini 3. So
I'm pretty sure the OpenAI is not gonna stay at GPT-5. I think OpenAI is going to do some stuff for Dev Day. I don't know. I don't have prior knowledge. I did get an email saying who's going to be there, and that's very exciting. I can't tell you because they asked for a non-disclosure, but we'll definitely, me and Ryan will do a live stream from there. So please tune in, and you guys are welcome to do it as last year. You're welcome to jump off, and while we can't talk, you can discuss, and we can do a live stream for Monday. So folks, look out for that. LDJ, go ahead.
In terms of what I'm excited for next week, Dev Day is next week, and some things that they might release there that there's been a lot of talk and reports of things they're working on is the web browser. And I guess that could have just been maybe just the web browser internally inside of the ChatGPT app for the agent to use.
Yep.
But I'm hoping it's more than that, and hopefully they actually have a web browser that's actually meant to be a consumer competitor to Chrome. And that'll be really interesting. And then that would maybe be the first competitor to Comment, actually.
Yep. Which, by the way, I use Comment. I switched from Dia. I use Comment from Perplexity now. It's great as agentic stuff. It helps me prepare for the show. It's absolutely great. All right, folks, on this exciting topic, I will choose one Sora video to get out on, and I'll show you the video that blowing up on Sora. I don't know why this is the one that's very exciting, but this is my top performing video on Sora right now with more
Today
than
we're out in the
1,500
blocky wilderness of Minecraft, exploring the grassy plains biome. I've brought a little camcorder along to capture the wildlife for the show. These cows spend the day meandering across the field, chewing on every pixel. Today we're out in the blocky wilderness of Minecraft, exploring the grassy plains biome.
This is it, and here's 35 remixes. And let's show another one, and then we're gonna finish the show. For some reason, somebody remixed this and pulled out of the ether of Sora this scary monster. So you guys want to see?
Oh my God! No! Get away! Help! Somebody! Please stay back!
And then somebody remixed it and said, "Hey, make them friends." Here.
Hey there. Whoa. Hi. You're friendly, huh? Nice to meet you. You're a lot cooler than you look. Come on, let's get some fresh air. Yeah, that's better. New best bud.
So somebody pulled this monster out of somewhere, and now it's in the latent space. You can tag it as well. Alrighty, folks, this has been ThursdAI. Go ahead.
If we can do that with movie clips or stuff like Game of Thrones ending, change it. Bam.
You can absolutely do that. Game of Thrones endings is possible now to remix, but we're going to be very close to longer generations. I think longer is going to be the name of the game. Folks, thank you so much, everybody, for joining. We're clocking it just a little bit under 10,000 views. We hopefully got most of you on Sora. If you haven't gotten on Sora, I think the chain can keep going in the X thread. Nistan shared a bunch of codes. There's like at least... He shared 4 codes. It's probably at least 14 folks that can come back and share their codes, and let's keep this like pyramid scheme going. So all of you are in there. Thank you so much, Wolfram, LDJ, Jan Peleg, Nistan, Ryan Carson was here. Thank you everybody who participated in our little pyramid scheme and now in Sora. Please follow me. And thank you, OpenAI, for releasing incredible shit that changes the world like on a weekly fucking basis. We absolutely love this. Let's go. This has been a phenomenal stream. I really enjoyed it. And now I will go and do what I usually do, is edit the show for a podcast and a newsletter. Please subscribe. But I also will go and play with Sora because it's really sticky. I really want to see like what people generate of me, generate some stuff of them. So I'm definitely going to go and do that. And we'll see you here on Monday, not Thursday. We'll definitely be here on Thursday. But on Monday, it's going to be a live stream from OpenAI Dev Day. We're going to be with us in San Francisco. Come. If you can't make it to Dev Day, we will be there and we'll make it as though you're there as well. So definitely come to that. That's going to be on Twitter stream. We're probably not going to YouTube. We'll see. And until then, have a great weekend. Enjoy Sora, and we'll see you here next week. Bye-bye, everyone.